This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without prejudice. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
I believe we are live once again for another Purge of the BS. Saturday edition, the super panel with all of the great super panelistic expialidocious folks that I bring in. And of course, as usual, I got to bring in the fam, okay? Now, before I do that, make sure you hit the like button. But as I do that, make sure you give it up for my folks, Bricks, Bravo, and Genesis. Please give it up for them. Would y'all join me in another Purge of the BS? Please!
Yeah, sure.
All right, okay.
I'm kind of on the fence.
I'm just saying, that's what you not pay me for.
Yeah, well, you know, you can talk to YouTube about that one. They've been
Right.
not as nice as we thought they would be. Let's just say that.
And we ain't worried about them.
We're
That's
not.
BS.
We're not. That is some BS, and that's
I
why
see
we
what you did
purge the BS here at this particular channel. So I'm just making sure my chat is up and working. I see Bricks has confirmed the chat is working. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Yes,
Hello
sir.
and good night. And so before we get into the craziness of the purge of the BS tonight, have you guys enjoyed your week with all of the wonderful things that have been going on?
That's
No,
splendid.
Well, I mean, it's been a very productive week in United States, right? Wouldn't you
I
say?
just want to know, does this man just wake up every day and say, how the hell can I piss them off today? Like,
You know,
it's like every day you wake up, well, what is it now?
well, you know, that's an interesting thing that you would say, because I believe that he has a team that does that for him. That's what I believe. I believe
Yeah.
there's a team of people who literally sometimes they come up with ideas and they do stuff just to piss off the public. I believe that it's all cinema. I really do. I really do.
I actually don't think it's a team. I think it's that one evil little man, Stephen Miller. I think it's just him.
You know
He's a
what?
very
Someone was
bad
just
dude.
saying that. Yeah.
He's
Well,
a
you
very
know,
bad guy, and he's like 32 and very bald. So he's upset at the world.
Yeah, I thought that was a choice baldness, though. That's a necessary baldness.
No, look at his hairline. That's a deep cut.
Oh wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's enough to stress anybody out.
If that hair grew back, he'd be saluting like this.
Wow.
Yeah, if he grew his hair out, it looked like a stadium.
Yeah. Fat Joe get to singing lean back. Lean back. When you get done with that, lean back some more.
Right.
We're not bringing Fat Joe back this week.
We almost got in trouble with that.
Ooh.
Bricks, hey, the folks were going in
He came for you.
in the comments. It wasn't Fat
They
Joe,
came
but
for me.
they came for you on the our angle on the N-word usage on the shorts.
Him and his
Oh,
velvet
good.
fur.
Yeah.
We're not
glad they
here for
did.
that.
So special shouts to everybody in the chat. Purple Groovy, thank you for stopping in the chat. Purple Groovy said hello to Sonny Bricks. Like nobody else is here.
Hello, Purple Groovy.
No one else
No,
is
hey,
here.
don't be hating.
I'm just saying.
Hello, Purple Groovy.
I
love
I
you.
dished out the wrench.
Right.
But only Bricks gets the hello. But that's
well.
cool. That's cool. No problem, Purple Groovy. So, guys, we got to get into our stories here. But there was something that I didn't know.
Hold
and I'm
up.
sure-
Yeah, we do need to discuss this damn Jim Jones Nas thing at some point.
Uh-oh. I thought we discussed it. We didn't discuss that? Well, you know what?
No. I'll wait. I can wait.
No,
as long as we don't
because-
do 2 hours of what we got to do
No, I
first.
don't. I think we should address this right here and right now because it honestly, from a metric standpoint, the shorts about the Jim Jones Nas thing have done very well for the channel,
Hey, look,
and so we need to discuss.
Brent hit me up and said we need to talk about this because he's an avid watcher. I'm not saying last names, but everybody from Columbia know Brent.
it. Right
And he said we need to discuss this on the show.
about
I think he's
Jim
right.
Jones, Jim Jones and Nas.
Jim Jones and Nas, who's the better?
Okay.
I don't even understand how this is a topic of conversation.
I think it's a difference between who is better and what the discussion actually is.
Well, what's the
You know
discussion?
what I mean? So once we want to, the discussion is that did everybody bite the bait? This is rage bait. He knows he's not better than Nas.
Well, you
He
know,
Do you
knows
believe
that-
that he knows
I
that?
don't believe that he knows that. He's really doubled down on it a few times, and
But he's brought up things that will disprove him. He's like, yo, check the stats. He has 2 ever records hitting the top 10.
yeah,
ever.
but see, he's talking
Ever.
about album cuts and stuff we ain't never really listened to because he's saying, Nas was more commercial.
So he's French Montana now.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. So, me
It's giving
personally,
rage bait.
it's, yeah,
Nas single-handedly
Yes.
changed the face of hip-hop, yo. He changed the face of hip-hop.
well,
Like,
what
it's
did,
never
what did
been
Jim
the same.
Jones? What did Jim Jones change?
You know,
That's a problem because people in this conversation were talking past each other. Well,
he
Nas-
changed
'cause,
he changed the
no,
fact
listen,
that you could wear long hair on the East Coast, I think.
the Chrome Heart stuff, the BB Simon belts, and the style stuff.
Style,
He did bring
yeah.
he did bring that to the game, and that's not that not to denigrate his legacy.
What that got to do with
that
bars?
style,
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? But that's just-
outside
that's
of
the
the
styles.
that's outside of the whole
correct,
hip hop part of it, which is what
of
he's
the actual
saying.
art.
Yeah, he's
Why
saying
is this
bar
an
for
argument? Why can't they both just be influential and move on?
because Jim Jones is trolling because he's trying to remain relevant to the
He
game.
always trolling though.
Yeah, that's
That's
all
the
it is.
point. That's
Yeah.
the point.
And so
That's
he got
exactly what
his
I'm saying.
Yes,
couple of
but I
seconds.
would much rather him troll people in his weight class. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
Why? Jim
Why?
Jones.
It's less effective.
Yeah,
Who is in his weight class?
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. He's just his own person. So like, just whatever.
His
You don't
mom
say
is
that.
in his
Take
weight
Jim
class.
Jones seriously. Nobody.
Drag on.
I don't know. I've actually. I'm gonna be honest.
No,
with
not
you.
Drag On is tough. Drag On got bars. Let's
I
not
understand,
believe
but-
it a fact. If you Google Drag On right now,
But I'm saying
Feelings
stat.
is hurt.
I'm saying stat for stat. As long as as what the board
okay,
is talking about.
well, okay. If that's if your metric is what Billboard likes, then you might as well have the same metric as the Grammys.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh my goodness!
No, because the Grammys are voted between the artists themselves and the
I don't buy it.
and the
I don't buy it.
and the powers that be. Billboard is who's buying and spinning records. Period. You can't fake that unless you
I
buy
don't
it.
buy it.
That's it.
But even then, if the conglomerate is behind that push of like for example, the same reason why Drake would want to sue Kendrick Lamar.
No, we're not
It's
about to speak
because
about
of
Drizzy
that-
right now.
Uh-oh.
No, but I'm just saying
OVO.
it's No, I'm not saying anything bad about him. What I'm saying is the machine got behind Kendrick, which was enough to tarnish his name. Like,
I just need people to stop comparing people that don't compare. Like they're their own people.
Correct.
Like
Correct.
that's what they want us to do. They want us to like put each other against each other and
now that I agree with, because I will be the first one to tell you when people come on social media and they say, here's 10 of the best hip hoppers we've ever had. 9 gotta go. Or like, why? Why would anyone have to go? What other group of people in the world does that? Other than us, we gotta eliminate somebody. For why?
It's a crabs in the barrel.
Put this
kind
out
of
here
thing,
right now,
literally.
Sir Jones.
For sure. Everybody's fighting to be the best.
You are not rocking with Nasir
Yeah.
on any
definitely not.
stretch.
But that's the whole point.
All
The
you
whole
did was
point
get
of-
niggas in tight pants.
Listen. The whole thing that this was all engagement. This was what it was always about, and we're buying into it. That's literally what this is about.
Sucked
don't
right
feed the
in
monkeys.
like a vacuum, just sucked right in.
I'm not going with that. I'm talking about it because it's something happening, and I don't want these damn children. You know what? The thing that pisses me off is exactly what it was Benzino saying it. Nas is a legend. That's the problem, yo. You're not going to take down any more of my legends. Like, whether you like him or not, Bill Cosby is a legend. He is.
I think you're worried about.
How many black students went to
listen,
college because of this? I'm still talking.
I think.
You know how many black?
I understand. But what I'm saying is that is not taking a legend down because he can't.
What makes them legendary? Because they're all going to end up in the
see,
Black Museum.
See,
if we're being real.
that's your perspective, Bravo, because you and I are over 45 years of age. But what I'm saying is,
Dang,
these
you gotta
kids don't
expose
even,
them?
we're over that. These kids don't even remember who the fuck Al Green is. So my point is, when we grew up, we listened to Al Green, we listened to James Brown, we listened to all of these heroes. So we knew who our history is. But the way that things are going today in America, especially with this goddamn administration, is get rid of the board of education, get rid of all of this education so they don't remember shit when they try to do the same shit they did. So when you try to erase Nas and put Jim Jones in his place, that's a problem because you don't know what hip hop you're fucking with. That's why I have an issue with
I don't
it.
think anybody important is actually doing that replacement. I don't think anybody of importance is making that replacement. This is something to talk about, sure.
And
But
your
nobody.
metric, who's your metric when you say important?
I'm talking about the people who spin the records, people who play the records. Because no matter on any given day,
They're not
you can
making
compare
that
stream
argument.
for stream. You know what I mean? On any given day, you could their catalog, their back catalog.
I agree.
Given
I just
day.
don't like shit because I know one thing, man. When you start fucking planting seeds in people's heads, what's that shit called? The butterfly, not the butterfly effect. What's that?
Butterfly effect? Yeah.
Is it the one where shit changes all of a sudden, like
Mandela effect.
The Mandela, exactly.
Oh, Mandela. Yeah,
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, what is happening with these new generations is they plant these seeds, and then all of a sudden, Jim Jones was the writer of Illmatic or some crazy shit. Like I've seen people say the dumbest shit.
That's crazy.
It's unfortunate, but we have to tell them.
Us to uphold the history and not allow stupid shit like I'm sorry I'm in my feelings, but Jim Jones versus isn't Nas last name Jones?
I don't know his family like that.
Nasir Jones. Like he the only Jones then.
I don't know.
Jim Jones need to have a seat. God damn it.
Oh, okay.
He can't even rap better than Cameron, and they was in the same group.
That is also true.
Okay.
That is also true. I don't
Jim
even
Jones,
know.
Literally, his whole rap career was on the job training. Like he learned to rap on the song.
Yeah, Cam and them told him. They literally said we had to teach this nigga how to rap. Yo, he came out with Snoop Dogg's haircut. Yo, he looked like James Earl Jones and Conan when he first came out, bro. You remember that? Jim Jones had that goddamn jersey on with that long ass hair. Like, bro, what coast are you from?
Well, if Jim Jones ever sees this show, Jim Jones might be upset with us after seeing this show.
I don't care, bro. Like, niggas around him don't even like him. I don't care, yo. When you disrespect a legend like that, get the fuck out of here, bro.
It's just clickbait, man.
He ain't even from Harlem.
They do it for people like you, so that way on Halloween they
Correct.
can put you in a room with Jim Jones, Fat Joe, and whoever else.
If he's in the room with
not the same room.
oh my God. And then Fat Jones would be like, "What's up, my nigga?" And Bricks is
just
gonna
gonna
lose
be
his
going
mind.
off.
He's gonna lose his mind.
Bro, I tell you one thing. I don't know what I would do in that room if it's just me and him, because he got bad knees, yo. Straight up.
Well, I had a question for y'all.
800 pounds.
I had a question for
Sure.
y'all. It's unrelated to the hip hop thing because it was part of this purge of the BS. And I know Bravo will probably know more about this. But did you know that there's only 7 people that make the choice and decision for the vaccine schedule for the world? Did y'all know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I thought it was
Vaccine schedule.
like when you're supposed to take your chicken pox vaccine, and then when they say, like you're supposed to get COVID and you got to get a booster shot at this amount, it's like the schedules of when you're supposed to take stuff. It's just a 7-person
Like
board.
the board.
Yeah, and they make all the choices.
Yeah.
So RFK was trying to like break the whole thing down, and they were like, "Look, we gonna keep making schedules anyway because it's only 7 of us, and we've been doing it." But I was like more surprised at the fact that it was only 7 people. I thought,
I'm not
9 out of
surprised
10
about that
doctors
at
had
all.
to at least vote on some shit.
Because we have 50 people that make choices every single day for the entire America.
Right. So that,
Yeah,
I mean,
anybody
how-
reading what I
how
love
is it-
big women is putting in the chat.
Yeah, but I
I'm
was
not. You know what?
ignoring. I was
You
ignoring.
know what? I'm gonna let them do that because apparently 9 p.m. is freaky hours in this chat.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
das
they
ist sehr
always come
gut.
in here
Ist sehr gut. Ist wunderbar.
and say something about these specific people. They have
Yeah.
something to, purge and just let them do that.
Yeah, they want to talk
Okay.
about LeBron and Diddy and all that. Hey, I mean, if that's what you're focused on a Saturday night, I guess that's what you're focused on a Saturday night. Feel for you know.
It happens.
Yeah.
And
So-
and I do want to say this before we go any further. Bravo, you're right. Okay,
What's that?
you were right.
About life.
What we were talking about with Jim and them. You are right. I was just
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Ashton Hall. Why he said, "Yes, I was in the air for 4 minutes." It's the same shit. It's the same shit. It's like the time dive
Anyway.
heard around the world.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
I was
I'm not surprised about what you said too, Hayes, because I mean, isn't it Greenspan that makes all of the damn percentage decisions?
Yeah,
for, like,
and
the housing market
That's what's
and
bothering me
everything.
about it. It seems like the amount of people that actually have the control over real decisions is so concentrated. It's like we want to have
It's
change.
bothering
Make the
you
decision
now?
about the
No,
weather.
it's always
Because the
bothered me,
weather be
but it's
wrong.
like it's always bothered me. But it's like we have this community outrage against these same things that have always been there. That's why I thought Bravo might already know that. Like the thing with the data breach last week, and I was talking about it. Because this shit be
Right,
going on. It just,
the
that's
thing
how
is
we
about
live.
that. The thing about that is, in my opinion, there has to be leaders somewhere.
Seven,
You can't
though?
be mad that there are leaders, right?
I
But,
didn't
but what
elect
I'm
them,
saying,
though.
how are the decisions made? How are the decisions made? Are they done in committee? Are they done while poring over research papers? Are they the council that are reading that are listening to presentations from doctors upon doctors and different, like, I don't know how the decision is made.
Is
And if
there
it's
a
seven people-
handbook?
But let me
Right. If
this
it's
is-
7 people who really know their shit,
Let me
You know,
ask
but
What
I
if,
mean-
what if you actually
a
got
second.
to that office and you found those 7 people and you open the door and it's just like a little robot from Buck Rogers going beep 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 and like a little piece of tape
I
comes
wouldn't
out
be
and says,
surprised.
"Take
I wouldn't
your
be surprised.
vaccines."
I would not be surprised these days. I'll
I
be
can't
honest.
go that far.
Jen,
That's
you
the
were
whole
trying to say
concept of the
something.
Wizard of Oz.
Jen
Yeah,
was trying
so
to say
what
something.
really
here.
bothers me about this is that have y'all ever had someone reach out to you for like one of those polls where they're like 87% of people say this and I'm like, nobody asked me.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody ever
Who are
reaches
they
out to me for
asking?
that. They never do.
You ain't
'Cause,
never
like-
seen the Census Bureau in the hood.
Yeah,
ever.
and it's like the 87% could be from 7 people. Like we don't know where they're getting all these statistics and numbers from, and that's always bothered me. So when it comes to leadership, that's one thing, but when you make generalizations, which is where they get these vaccine mandates from, is the generalization of the population of what's going on, and you don't even know what's going on because ain't nobody asked me about my house or what's going on in my house since I was born. So
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
No, they
Where
keep
y'all
doing
coming
this
up with
other
this
stuff.
stuff?
They always say 87%, but you got to realize that it's 87% of people who actually answer polls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just sitting at home waiting to be asked questions and shit. And then, let me just there's a lot of old people, a lot of old people with
Right,
landlines.
which makes it
With
bad
landlines.
because that means that they're over medicating us. But that's a whole nother story.
And that's
for
what I
another
was
day.
trying to. I was also going to touch on is Like the flu shot, right? Everybody knows that the flu shot increases your risk of catching the flu and other diseases, right? But they push for it every single year. And this is what these 7 people are deciding to do, even knowing with scientific studies.
I don't know that I know that.
But this is, hold up, bro.
No. This is
you said
proven.
everybody knows. That's as bad as them statistics that Jen was just talking about.
All right, you want.
I don't know that I know that because that's kind of.
If everybody knew that, we wouldn't be doing that shit. Yeah,
it's counterproductive to the intent of the vaccine itself.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. When you get the flu shot, they're putting the flu in you, but it's supposed to be dead cells.
It's a dead version.
Yeah, some people's systems wake them up. Yeah, and some people's systems wake them up and they're too strong, and they end up catching the flu instead of being immune from it. And so it ends up spreading that way.
Is that?
What'd you say? You're gonna do what?
But what's the percentage of it? What?
I said I was born a robot because I ain't follow none of them schedules. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, some of it you had no question.
Wasn't in the back of my head.
You didn't have any. Yeah, you didn't. Your parents took you and got them shots for you. You didn't have nothing to do with that. It was literally you were just. Your parents were told that in order for your child to go to school at a certain age, you got to have these shots. Go to college.
Right. Bruh, I had boom, 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 all that. I was like, yo.
So they're mandating
when you were 4, when you were 8. I'm like, what?
And they mandate that you take these shots in order to basically live a regular life. Even though a lot of these things have been proven to have side effects that go against
What percentages are these affecting people? Because the thing is that I don't want to do is I don't want to fearmonger the minor occurrences because we don't know how many people this does affect. Do we know if there's any prior testing before you get a vaccine? Right. We don't know how many people this actually affects. If there's pre-detection to know if you're going to be allergic to a vaccine. We don't even know if we have any of that stuff.
All right. Well,
so I do know that you are right. That what you're saying is right. No. What I'm saying is that I know that you're right and it affects folks, but it doesn't affect so many people that we need to stop doing what we need to do. Like we used to not have measles until some red hats was down there talking about, we ain't doing nothing, and now we got measles all of a sudden again.
There's an intricate enough study on the blood and on like nutrients and what you're like deficient in and etc. for people to actually understand what could react to what. And that's where I have the issue is that you're just told like, oh, okay, you should get this by these random people, but nobody knows why.
Okay, well, I got a clip and we're gonna watch it real quick because
I'm about to die.
Well, that's maybe, but there was apparently some studies. So they got studies, right? They got some studies, and there's a clip. So we're going to see what the clip is. I don't know.
Clearly, these 2 studies show that not only does the flu vaccination increase your risk of flu.
That guy sounds like he needs a shot or something else.
And that study was by Shrestha.
What is this station?
Of the Worldview
Radio?
40,000
What's going on?
Were in that study. So this is a robust study, very credible. And then the other study found 340% increased risk of other
y'all are horrible.
Get the flu shot. And so not only
you can't show us no random video.
You can't just show me.
Are we fact checking with Twitter yet?
That's what I'm saying, dog. With the ad at the end. With the fucking ad at the end.
That's community notes. You gotta trust the community notes.
This ain't community notes. This is just about some drunk ass dude on Worldview Radio, which is on TV, which makes no sense.
He's an MPH.
He's trying to get like.
He's an epidemiologist and administrator at the McCullough Foundation. Yeah, he's a guy. I mean, look.
Followed by who?
Some crazy people. And Alex Jones. Alex Jones follows him.
All right, so let's all right.
Look, man, we're not going to do that. We had this conversation about the whole conspiracy theories that end up not necessarily being conspiracy theories at the end. But
I like finding things that end in .edu, .org.
Man.
Even then.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh my God.
I mean, like just credible.
Credible sources.
Credible sources.
Not that lady. Okay, here's some people.
Because I don't want look, this is the thing, Hayes. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be Matter of fact, this is the best way to put it. I was in the mall recently, and a guy walks up to me and says, "Are you Sonny Bricks from TikTok?" And I said, "Yeah."
Famous.
He said, "Yo, your videos are funny as hell, yo. We've been following you." That is a great way to meet someone, yes. But I don't want someone to say, "Yo, you remember when you said that crap on the Purge of the BS?" And now all of a sudden it's a problem, like, because I told
Get
somebody,
that baby off the screen.
yeah, like,
Yo, fear monger much? Like, this is what I'm talking about, yo.
Well,
This is what I'm talking
I
about.
was just looking at the page because I was trying to find some
How
things
about
that were
you-
from more reputable sources like the CDC.
See, I don't care because people gonna come for me. I don't
How
trust
about-
none of this.
Yeah, how about going to CDC.gov and then seeing what's up there?
I mean,
That's
you
what I'm
know
doing
I
right now,
can.
looking at
You know I
ACIP.
can. You know I will. I just was. I saw the story. Jesus.
I would recommend that you,
You know
do
why?
because, you know,
Because who do y'all know that work there?
I
At the
don't
CDC?
know. I don't know anybody that works at the
Oh.
CDC.
I don't know anybody directly right
This
now.
is the
but I do have-
problem because I have all types of friends in healthcare. I'm talking high up. I'm talking people
Me too.
like medical doctors, surgeons, etc. I don't know
Mhm.
nobody, and I live in DC that works there. Where do they be selecting these people? Like, seriously.
I do know through work folks, people at the
Mhm.
CDC. I do know people there
Okay.
Okay.
without telling all my business online, you know what I mean? But you know,
That's
through work, I
nice.
do know people
Yeah.
at the CDC. And the thing is that the problem is that not enough information that is actually accurate is being conveyed to the public in a digestible way. And so the easiest thing to spread is fear and worry about stuff
Yeah.
without a proper explanation. And so that's why he said they say a lie will travel around the world before the truth wakes up and put the shoes on. You know what I mean?
That's
So
cool.
They need a PR
I
agent.
like that. I like that.
They need somebody to.
I mean,
to figure
here's
out
the
how
thing.
to say
All drugs and stuff have side effects. All of them. But like Bravo was
No
saying,
lies
if the
detected.
greater good is for the survival of humans and our health, I guess it is what it is. It's called collateral damage. I'm not going to think too bad of it. I'm going to be honest with you. Stuff going to happen.
Right.
Stuff is going to happen. But would I say stop taking the damn chicken pox shot so people can all get chicken pox? Hell no. So,
I ain't getting no chicken pox.
but you had the
see,
chicken
my
pox
fear
shot.
is that people don't give a shit about their jobs anymore.
Well,
Like, I
wow.
remember when, you know, like, you know,
Jesus.
back in the 70s, in the 80s, do y'all remember Dr. Webster, you know, RIP? But Dr. Webster was a pediatrician in Columbia, Maryland. He was just a damn good doctor. Like, he cared about everybody. He was a nice guy. His wife was working there as his administrative person, and you just had this feeling that he cared about you. And so, I came in there with ear infections as a child, and he was able to diagnose that it was because of my father smoking cigarettes in the car with the windows up, and I was.
Yeah.
But he figured
true.
this stuff out. And so, but I don't get that same feeling when I go to doctors now. Like
They
for
don't
example,
figure nothing out. That's why I'm so
yeah,
mad.
a friend of mine,
I'm
Go ahead.
insanely upset about this because, but you go ahead. I'm gonna let you
you know
finish.
Yeah, a
sore
friend of mine
spot.
goes to the doctor the other day, and he was having an issue with his stomach. He felt bad, and so the doctor says, just give it a couple days, and then it's not. He comes back in 3 days with full-blown salmonella. Like, they didn't even run any tests. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when the people that actually take care of you are so used to this culture of not giving a shit. And it's like, where do you go where you truly feel like you're getting good customer service anymore? It's not just McDonald's and Burger King, like, Taco Bell, places like that where they don't, can I help you? All right, get out of here. It's now the hospitals.
It's an assembly line. It's an assembly line
money,
approach
money.
because back when doctors did need to know how different symptoms can go ahead and form into one kind of diagnosis, they had to know these things. Right now, they just plug it in symptoms and then their clipboard spits back what they think it
Right.
might be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just like it's the same thing as my beef with people asking AI for everything. You know what I mean? You are cognitive offloading. That means you don't think anymore. You just plug it in this thing, and then like idiocracy. When the
How
dude
many
had to go to
times
the-
has How many times has AI given you an answer, a response, and then you say, no, that's not it at all. And they say, oh, my bad. You know what? Try this. AI is wrong a lot, bro.
A lot.
All right, let's. Can we not? Can we not talk about?
So let me just say this.
Them.
There has been multiple times where I have gone to the health professionals of the world, and they have literally taken a picture of what was going on and be like, wow, that's crazy. Can I take a picture so I can show everybody else? But then they don't even tell me what's wrong.
This is my vagina, sir. No, you cannot take a picture of it.
But specifically, I used to have like chronic strep throat, and my dad knows. Like I used to always get strep throat for no reason, but I was a singer, so it would just ruin everything. My voice would be gone, and we couldn't figure out if it was like a viral infection, like what was going on, like why do I keep getting this? Nobody in the house has it. And like one time my like tonsils were like boulders, and instead of being like, oh, maybe we should just take these out, like I just kept getting infections, and they kept just taking pictures of him. They're like, this is the biggest I've ever seen. And then sending me home.
Is it a TikTok doctor?
Yeah. And I'm like, this is
who's your
ridiculous.
doctor? Dr. Dre?
No, literally. And my dad was like, why did they just send you home with these hard drugs? Like, what is this going to do? Like this, it
was designed to keep making money for these companies because that's who makes the money off of it. So I have to warn everyone that we are not allowed to speak negatively of Alpha Indigo. Okay.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a new thing. It's a new thing, and Alpha Indigo is now a protected class. And to speak negatively of it could cause egregious harm.
Damn it, Elon.
Yo, it went deep when I did the study and I found out what was going on. It went very deep. So we can't talk bad about it unless we code the words.
But they can talk bad about us.
Oh, man, shit.
Y'all seen them videos. Y'all seen them videos they've been making.
Oh my gosh. Wait till I get my hands on that technology.
I did one.
Maybe we shouldn't tap dance on this minefield and just move on.
Let's do that. Yeah. Hey, Jen, you got a hello in the chat, too, as well. Special shouts to IMZ jumping in the chat there. Appreciate you.
AZ, what's up?
All right. So we're going to...
all hate. Don't be saying hi to her.
Right. Only her. Here we go again.
No, because
Hey, threw you the wrench.
Right.
I gotta tell y'all. One time a bug bit me in Puerto Rico, and I went to a random hospital over there, and they knew what was going on. But if I had came back to America, it was like, oh, a bug bit me in Puerto Rico, they'd be like, here's some Tylenol.
Wearing yellow suits.
Here's some morphine.
Scrubbed down.
Take some morphine.
No, literally. And that's the problem. Like, they don't look into nothing.
And they'll ask you something stupid. Well, did you bring the bug here so I could tell you?
Right. You remember when Brian Fantana was getting cleaned out in the back of the daggone alleyway in that Ron Burgundy movie? Yeah. They be having her out there like that. Last time it smelled like this, a skunk got into the printer.
And then this like random grandma, she had me drink like this tea with this random stuff in it. And on the next day I felt better. I didn't feel sick no more.
Right.
Okay. Right. Well, you know, guys.
Cold heroin.
Puerto Rico.
For Donald Trump.
The funny part is it's a U.S. territory. Like.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Donald protesting him bad when I was down there. It was protesting him bad.
Donald Trump.
Y'all
don't like
right.
Donald Trump.
Y'all are not right. But y'all are correct.
Yeah,
kicked all their asses out after that shit.
I love it. I love it.
Speaking of that, there's a African woman on TikTok tonight in a friend of mine's chat going hard for him. I was like, yo, you next. What are you talking about? Did he just get rid of birthright citizenship?
We're going to touch on that a little bit later in the episode. Before we get to that, though, before we get there, I gotta take us back overseas.
Is that why all the foreign men are hitting on me? Because they realized some things and they said, listen, we need to get to America.
I mean, you might be on to something. You might be on to something.
No, I'm actually serious.
Well, they need something.
Everybody here on business.
Well, let me take you to a different type of foreign man who is an American man who has gone overseas to try to find his queen, and he's gone missing. So they're worried that this new passport bros thing is becoming dangerous because gentlemen are going across the seas, find these women, and they're not coming back. So,
Bro, she offed him.
well, we don't know. We don't know. But let me bring the story up.
Took everything
Y'all,
he had.
y'all can look at it
I'm
yourself.
gonna just say, if you know any single men that travel to Singapore, unironically, you know what they're doing.
All right, so you guys see this gentleman here.
Oh, Thailand. Excuse me.
So this man is missing. It's a whole news story about
That's an
it.
AI.
Oh, there's a man in
The
there's a man in this
lady
picture?
is
Where?
I was about
probably
to
an
say.
AI. Yes, the lady's an AI. Well, that's because they don't know
Yeah, that's
who he went to go
definitely an AI.
see. He might have gone and seen another dude. It might have been
I was
like
about to
that.
say.
But did they have to make her that busty though? That's like a little bit
I mean,
ridiculous.
hey, AI knows
There's
what
no
knows
such
what the
animal.
people like. Yeah, AI knows what the people like. We can say positive things.
That's crazy.
We can't say negative, so we can talk positive about.
Like structurally,
that,
how does that
yes.
work?
Hey, it
You're gonna have
works.
to come
It
up with a
works.
code word or something. I can't with that.
Well, we got a whole thing with the Transformers, and we've been working with that lately. That's been getting us through. But we're not going to use that right now. Right now, we're just going to say, I believe that this is a good job of rendering, okay, of this woman.
Okay.
Like most guys
that
would,
looks rendered.
most guys would go overseas to see a woman who looked like this. That's all I'm saying.
Hal 9000 was like, "Do you want me to increase the bust, Dave?"
Yes.
You can find that right in Miami. Why are they going all the way across?
Because
you know what?
apparently
Because the ones in Miami are
Dollars.
mean.
they're mean to him. All right. So let's see this
No,
guy's
the dollar
story.
goes a long
Can we
way.
hear the guy's story?
Right.
Let's get the guy's story, guys.
Yes.
He likes to tell me what he's
Hold on. Let
So
me.
he's the one that's missing.
I think this is the guy that's missing. This is the guy that's
So
missing.
how he telling the story?
I don't think he's telling
He's
the
probably
story.
in the post.
I think this was him posting, and then he
Like,
went
so
missing.
I'm missing.
So I'm missing right now.
He voted for
I
Donald
know you
Trump.
guys are looking at me, but I am missing. So just come find me because I'm missing. All right, let's see what we got.
He likes to talk. He likes to tell me what he's doing, send me videos of where he's going.
Marcus Forrester says he and his son Jason, 38, voice texted each other every day and many times a day, especially
Oh,
after
it's
Jason
sad.
moved from Beltsville, Maryland to Miami,
Oh,
Florida.
he's from Maryland.
Frequent trips to the Dominican Republic.
Of course
led
he
to
is.
love
That's what
and
they
then
do.
marriage to a woman
Wait a
Jason met there.
Hold on. What the hell do you mean by that? What do you mean that's what they
Why
do?
do we always talk all the way through the damn clips
Yeah,
y'all
let's
want us
stop.
to pay attention
All right,
to?
all right,
I can't hear
all right, hold
fucking
on.
shit.
He said we text every day with the voice.
All right, we're gonna no. I'll just play it
Okay,
again.
go
I'll
ahead.
just play it again. I'm sorry to everybody who's watching. I'm sorry.
Sounded so
I'm
tender.
gonna put myself on
with the
mute.
voice, with the voice texting.
Hold on a second, man. Let me play the damn clip. Jeez.
He likes to talk. He likes to tell me what he's doing, send me videos of where he's going.
Marcus Forrester says he and his son Jason, 38, voice texted each other every day and many times a day, especially after Jason moved from Beltsville, Maryland to Miami, Florida. Frequent trips to the Dominican Republic led to love and then marriage to a woman Jason met there.
Shut up.
Met the parents and so on. They got married in DR, and he started making arrangements to get her to come here legally. And that did happen.
Oh, that's
She got
my
a
folks
visa.
right there.
Forrester says Jason and his new bride struggled a bit as they transitioned from a long-distance relationship to sharing a home. Then something unexpected and shocking happened.
One day he came back from work, and the apartment was cleaned out. She left and disappeared.
Forrester says his
Well,
son
damn,
was
this is not the
heartbroken
story
when
I
his
thought
wife
this was
refused
supposed to be.
return his calls, then blocked him. He says Jason decided to fly to the Dominican Republic to talk with her family, hoping they would help convince her to return to the marriage.
Uh-oh.
But after the phone call from the airport 2 weeks ago,
Ooh, this
Marcus
isn't what you
Forrester
thought.
says
No, not at
one,
all.
not his family or friends, has heard from Jason. Calls to the Dominican embassy have produced no helpful information, he says.
We're
Oh.
just very, very concerned and hoping and praying that he shows up some way, somehow. But
I don't even know what to say.
Reality of
No,
it was
I
pretty
already know.
much.
He
All
had
right.
a whole man.
Well, this is the problem was the story was supposed to be about the dangers of like passport bros going overseas to find random foreign women because the American women aren't treating them right.
So you didn't look at this before?
No, I didn't. That's what the whole point is. I don't watch the clips first. I get the headline and
Gotcha.
then I bring it to y'all so it's natural with the responses and reactions, right? This was not what I thought it was going to be. So he went.
I can respect that.
Yeah. And I thought he was.
I like to be surprised.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I wanted to be
I
authentic.
will vote. Vote on their trunk.
Yeah. So with regards to this story, with this regards to this story in particular, basically she dipped, cleaned the place out, went back to the DR, and he flew over there to talk to her family. Who are probably not rocking with him.
Right. Because she probably got there
not rocking with him anyway.
She probably got there and said he was abusive, narcissistic, misogynistic, and all that shit.
Right.
Yes.
Do you know what the preferred tool of farmers is in the Dominican Republic?
So who is this lady? That's
it
what
starts
I'm
with an M and it rhymes with machete.
Right. So here, I don't know who the woman is. That's the whole point. They blurred out her face.
I tell you one thing, that woman is not the woman on the left.
That's not the woman in the picture. Look at that.
This lady's little. She's little as hell. You see her in the picture? She's really small compared to him. So either he's really tall.
He said we had this big house. We said we had everything. And then I get there, we don't have nothing.
Right.
Yo, first of all, it looks like there's somebody kneeling down on this woman's stomach. Like, come on. Yo.
Wow.
This is not accurate. What channel is this? Twitter, NBC?
Yeah, this is X. This is X. And MSNBC or one of them did the story about the missing man. So hopefully this guy Jason gets back to the States. But it don't look good. I'm just being honest. It don't look good.
My esteemed colleague, Mr. Bravo,
his phone's just probably off. He probably just didn't pay his bill.
No.
Can I speak for a second? My esteemed colleague, Mr. Bravo, spoke on this about 2 years ago, and he said there is a danger of having a social media platform that is not checked. And this is the type of stuff that we now have to deal with. This ain't no passport, bro. He went to go get his money back. That's what he did.
Get his woman back. He went to go get his woman.
I don't think he went to get his woman. He said he came back to the house and everything was gone. If it was just her gone,
how did she get all that to the Dominican Republic anyway? How did she get everything to the Dominican Republic?
She might have just sold everything.
Because she voted for Donald Trump.
I mean, but
is that where he is now?
Yeah. How do you even? You can't just pack up a whole apartment and throw it on a plane. You got to. There's a whole
it depends on how big the apartment is.
I think that he was a part of it and he cleaned it out, and that he went to go become a pimp. So he decided there was a better market there. He wasn't making enough money, and he decided to wipe his identity and forsake his family.
Well, I'm glad that you came up with that wonderful alibi. Yeah, he doesn't. He looks like
I would write a great movie.
He looks like he would have fun at the classic Diddy party. Let's just say that.
Right. That's what.
What are you saying right now?
What I'm saying is, why can't they show this woman's face? She's obviously over 18, or is she?
Something's going on.
Something ain't right with
because
this.
What did she call? Did she call in the news and say y'all don't have permission to use my face?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
why
you know why?
can't
You know
they
why
use her face?
You know why this is?
Why is it?
Because this is an actual publication or a news channel that can get sued for liable or they're able to be checked. So they're not going to put any information out there that they don't have. No, but they don't have rights. Who gives permission to show pictures? Who gives permission to show anybody else in this picture?
Because they're looking for him.
No,
because he's missing.
Right.
So they're showing his face.
But that's what I'm saying.
So they're showing his face. They have actual rights.
They blocked the parents out.
They went looking for the wife. So you could be like, if you see this lady, she might know where this guy is. So you show the wife.
I don't even know if this is the people. That might not even be her wife. That might not even be the wife. That might be just random other people in the picture.
That might just be a random picture and they're just talking about him. You're right.
Really, they don't want to find this man because the only person they showed was him.
That's it. They're not even showing where he was at last or nothing. Or him on a camera at the airport.
Blurred.
90%, 98% of the people watching this daggone thing right now are searching for the woman in the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Right, who doesn't exist.
Find her. She is of She's one of
I'm
the
gonna find
transgenders.
I imagine that's what Bathsheba looked like in the Bible.
Probably.
I'm gonna find that lady and the two bald-headed men wearing bandanas in front of her.
Mm-hmm. this is what, if you put in certain inputs into these systems, they will kick out a woman that looks like this because they feel like that's what people like.
Yeah, but they always have 6 fingers.
Well, you
And
know
like
what?
an
You
alien
can do a
foot.
lot with an extra finger, man.
You know what?
Oh my God.
All right.
Pause.
No, Diddy.
Pause.
I'm just, you know.
No, Diddy.
Functionality. Functionality. So the question was, are passport bros in danger going to get foreign women? But I don't really think this
Hell
story.
yeah, you're in danger right now.
That's
Of
not
course
really
you're
that,
in
though. He
danger.
brought
But
her
that's
back
what I'm
here
saying.
and
She
then
made it
went
back,
there,
though.
and then he was in danger.
That's why I'm saying, why
Bro,
aren't they
you're in
showing any
danger
pictures of her?
anywhere you go in this world, bro.
That's
America is not beloved by other countries.
But if it's been
Nobody says.
said,
People say they want to go to America, but it's not like I want to go to some paradise. Why would you come here and not just, I mean, even though Hawaii is part of America, but why not go to Hawaii? Why would you come to the mainland where the roads ain't fixed and people are getting treated like absolute dog shit? Citizens, mind you.
yes.
Nobody, like, we're going to go to America to work our asses off and send money back home to the paradise. That's why they come here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but we go elsewhere to find these nice women that people keep talking about. They keep saying that the women
because
are
they're
nicer.
supposed to be submissive.
Thank you for saying it, because that's really all it is. They have a cultural, like, whole, you know what? Let me not even.
No.
That's why.
Since we're
Because
talking
the
about it.
traditionals are-
I'll say why. I'll say why. Because
Yeah, you do
a lot of these men out here don't try. You gotta try,
Oh,
and you
God.
gotta
Oh,
fail.
my God.
You get better.
They be out there building
No,
houses.
No,
Nah, I don't
we
agree
can't.
with you
I
on
can't
that.
go
I-
there.
no,
No,
because-
sir.
No, because no. The reason why, yes, there is.
You're a good
there is
man.
certain-
You ain't been in these streets in a long time.
Yeah.
It
bro.
does.
You're
It
a
doesn't.
good
It does
man.
not. It does not matter about that. The thing is that anybody who acts that certain way, I'm not about them anyway. You know what I mean? Anybody who's been who get caught up in the Big Simone's BS of the world, I don't need to be around them. But I'm gonna find somebody who is.
Right,
I'm gonna find somebody who is into the things that I want my woman to be in. So I will go to the libraries. I will go to the art shows. I will go to the jazz fests and find the ladies. that
I
I
go
wanna
to the
see.
wine
Hey,
tasting.
The internet has made it more accessible to where people feel like you could just swipe like you're on Tinder and just choose a wife out, the sky. But that's just not how it works anymore. You still got to get to know who that person is.
See.
And like you said, sometimes you
It
got to go
takes
to the
work.
library. Sometimes you got to put yourself out your comfort zone. And we're so comfortable, we don't do that. And that goes
Correct.
for men and women.
Yes,
Bro,
Correct.
I'm gonna tell
Bars.
you like this, bro. Anybody that knows me knows I cook. When I get in that kitchen, I'm not playing. But I do I love the fact that my fiance is the same way. She likes to cook. But
These
there
girls
are
can't
a lot of women now, not all. I mean, because there's some
Not
that can
all,
still
not
put their
all.
foot in it, but there are a lot of women, and I'm not even gonna say that they can't, but I
They
would
got
say
air fryers.
they brag about not cooking. Like, I ain't cooking. Like,
Yeah, that
right.
shit ain't
What
cute.
I look like cooking?
That
What are
shit
you
is not
talking
cute.
about?
now, I brought that example up because I know when I grew up, it was always a nice thing to go to somebody's house that was from somewhere else. Like, for instance, when I go to Bravo's house, man, you get some of that brown stew chicken or, the types of foods that they cook over there. So it's like when I'm thinking of, when I was single, if I wanted to date somebody from another country, I'm like, yo, you from El Salvador. I heard El Salvadorian food is delicious.
Right.
You ever had Peruvian chicken?
Oh my God, I
Like
love.
And
Peruvian
over here,
chicken.
I'm dealing with people
Yeah.
bragging about not cooking. Like, at some point, when is it like, you know what? It's so bad over here. I'm going to Lebanon to find. Like, it's bad, yo. It's
Well,
bad, bro.
and that's what I'm
But
saying.
it is dangerous.
It is dangerous to travel to a foreign
always
land by
dangerous.
yourself with some money, searching for women, because you might find a prostitute.
You know why? Because
you
of
will.
Don
You will
El
find-
Tronc.
Yeah, you would definitely find.
That's
a
No, you
prostitute.
will
why.
find a prostitute. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. A friend of mine who was doing a audiovisual installation in Dubai. He was like, any women or group of women in any one of those bars and on any one of those hotels, they are usually working. You know what I mean?
Right.
Unless they're with their man or they're just having like a little party and their phones are out and they're streaming. If they are sitting there with a glass of water at the end of the bar, they are working. And so that's when those places where, you know, they have a lot of single male travelers. You know what I mean? There's a whole thing like Dubai.
Bro, I don't even really want to get into the Dominican. It's like that. I got a buddy that, at the Army. I'm not going to say who his name is, but he goes down there about 3 times a year. And it's so down to a system that if you bring someone to the hotel, you can tell the people at the desk, you know, that this is what's going to happen. The desk will take down her information in case you get robbed. So they know exactly where to call the police and say, this is who to go get. They got to show their IDs and everything. But like they all stand outside in these squares just waiting for dudes, bro. Like that's what it is.
I'm scared of that. I don't know. I know that it's a necessity for some folks, but I just can't see myself ever doing that just because like I got scared about this one time in South America. There's this drug called a scopolamine, called a zombie drug. They give it to you. They give it to you. They give it to you and nothing really happens to you. You just say yes to everything. You're compliant to everything. So a girl gives it to her mark. Then she says, all right, let's go to the ATM. I'd like you to give me all your money, please. He's like, all right, sure, let's go. Like the whole thing. And it lasts for like about 8 hours. And they're just compliant. They have one video of a lady who gave the man scopolamine. And he helped her move his stuff out of his apartment into a truck outside. Like he was helping move his own shit out. Yeah, it's crazy, dog. It's crazy. So like I'm just scared of that whole business out there, man.
Yeah.
Well, my whole thing is this: what that smell like? I don't want to have to ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. You've been working all night and all day. Like, you got crush in your drawers, man. Did you even take a shower before the last? Like, I don't want to.
You know what that reminded me of, Bravo? That reminded me of Blink Twice. I don't know if you guys seen that movie, but that's what that gave, and I feel like it's based off of probably that.
Blink Twice was a crazy. That was a pretty crazy movie.
Yeah,
I was like having nightmares after that, but yeah,
that's fun. That's fun.
That's what I mean. I know there's a whole thing with sex tourism, but you know,
prostitute breath is next level, I would imagine. Like, Jesus.
I think we should move on.
Yeah, I feel you on this. I think
it's a mixture of salmon and sorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Salmon and sorrow. Yuck.
All right.
I believe that word is in the Funkin' Wagners. Yuck.
I believe your breath smells like ancestral trauma.
Bad decisions, child neglect.
Right.
Wow.
All right. Well, speaking of bad decisions and child neglect, I got to bring y'all to my next clip. Yeah, it's funny how those two things go together, right? Amazingly.
How your mouth smell like PTSD?
Right. And nacho cheese.
Yeah, and nacho cheese.
So this one is gonna this one's gonna this one's gonna wet your whistle a little bit here. This one's gonna wet your whistle a little bit.
Your mouth smell like Darnell Trunk.
Darnell Trunk.
So recently,
my bad, yo.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I understand. So recently, a bunch of 5th grade girls got arrested for an alleged Erdermay plot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, of a teacher. I guess the teacher was failing them or something. I don't know. We're going to find out. Let's check
They watch too many movies, yo. This is what I be telling y'all. This Netflix, y'all need to put the kids one on and not let them just watch whatever. Like, what?
Right.
That's exactly how it goes in my house. Like, it's on lockdown till you hit 13. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me play this thing here.
Just end him. That was the goal of a group of 10 and 11-year-old girls who, surprise police say, wanted to kill a boy at school.
Oh, it's a boy at
Motive?
school. Okay.
He's accused of cheating on one of them.
Oh,
so
my
she
God.
wants him dead. The murder plot
Cheating
was
in
simple.
5th grade is crazy.
According to the police report, 4 5th grade students at Legacy Traditional School's West Surprise campus planned to lure a classmate to the charter school's outside bathroom and stab him in the stomach. and each girl had a role to play to get away with it. One would bring the knife, another would forge a suicide note to make it seem like he took his own life, and someone would act as a lookout while the other carried out the stabbing. And to avoid fingerprints on the murder weapon, they would wear gloves. Documents say the friends came up with the plan during lunch and recess on October 1st. Legacy administrators worked
school,
with the
wherever
school
this
resource
is.
officer to investigate when students who
Nice
overheard
school.
the plot came forward.
Looks like a
The
jail.
next
Arizona.
day, their backpacks were searched
I think
and
it's
the
Arizona.
suspects were individually questioned with their parents present. All 4 children were then arrested for threatening and disorderly conduct misdemeanor charges. The police report says 3 of the students showed remorse, but the 4th would smile and laugh while making excuses for their actions.
All right. I got so
I can
much
guess
to-
exactly what these girls look like,
Are you sure?
and that's terrible. He said they're in Arizona. Come on now.
Yeah.
And
Now-
the way that they're going about it is wild.
Legacy what's a traditional school? Let's dig into that real quick. What's going on here?
What's traditional about this
in
school?
Arizona?
Yeah, I don't know.
They saw it as somewhere, bro.
Well,
They make America great again.
It's giving the Menendez brothers all over again.
But 5th graders?
Oh man.
5th graders cheating on each other is like, is that even a
First
thing?
of all,
Wait, do you don't remember?
black
You remember all
folks
those
and
girls?
I'm telling you, they
Latinos
watching
would never say,
telenovelas.
I'll end him. That it doesn't. That's not how we talk.
They
Not
were
in
watching
5th grade.
telenovelas.
Not in 5th grade. Telenovelas? What is that? I don't.
It's like soap
I'm out of
operas.
the loop.
Soap
Okay.
operas.
Soap
Soap operas.
operas.
Spanish. Yeah.
Okay. See, you can tell I'm totally
I
out
mean,
of the
like,
loop on that one.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. Do you remember the Slender Man stabbings? Those girls were young too.
Well, see, this is the thing.
They learned that
Like,
1/3.
they came up with a whole plot.
That was
though.
2014.
Like it
That's
wasn't
why,
even.
and the way that they were talking, like you said, is not how 5th graders talk. So they
Yeah.
definitely got this off of like a show or like
Yeah,
something. They
they-
saw it. We're like, yeah, let's do that.
watching Ice-T on SVU or something like that, and they picked up on something, because that's a lot to come up with the suicide note. First of all, who stabs themselves in the stomach as a form of
Be
suicide?
careful with the verbiage you're using on social media. Have
Okay.
you not seen TikTok?
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, here's
All right.
here's another
You're
thing
correct.
that's not being discussed. Here's another thing that's not being discussed is how you think you're gonna ever get away with when you're planning over text?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, very dumb.
Well, that's
very,
that's
very
the
dumb.
thing. I don't think these were the smartest ones. I don't think these were the smartest people
No.
in
But
the
that's
school.
what they do in the movies. They be texting each other, be like, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do.
They're
Like,
on WhatsApp. They're on WhatsApp.
This is
realistic.
the plan.
So-
So you probably have a better chance doing it on WhatsApp. Is that what they were using?
I don't know. But the thing is,
I mean,
obviously
they have all the messages.
yeah, they got everything.
Oh,
But the thing is, these
Yeah,
kids
they didn't
aren't
want to
gonna
give
see
anybody
no
else
time.
ideas, so they didn't give us too much context.
Yeah, but they're not going to give us. They're not going to get any time. So they could conceivably plot
well, I mean,
this
are
again.
these
I don't
suntan
know.
children? Are they?
No, we believe that
close
they're
to the
not.
sun?
We believe that they're not.
The only one that I think
Not
is going
from
to
the
do it again
mountains?
is the girl that was laughing.
Laughing at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Oh, yeah,
was
she
obviously
crazy.
the
She
ringleader.
crazy.
She's going to do
Obviously.
her own joint.
Yeah, she crazy.
She probably grew up.
Right.
to
She don't
be
even need
large
them. She said
Marge.
y'all ruined it. She like blamed them later. It was
Right,
Like y'all
yeah.
are the ones the reason why.
And
Yeah,
I
they
would
gonna
have got
bring her
away with it if it wasn't for your meddling.
Right.
Right.
They're gonna bring.
So
they're
are
gonna bring her in the
you-
courtroom in a Hannibal
Not
Lecter
even her
mask.
man.
So does this mean that we should be
It's like
afraid
friends,
of
man.
5th graders now? Are 5th graders now dangerous?
Yes, hell yeah.
I mean,
What
if
we
they're
should be
plotting-
afraid of is the way that children fastly consume all of this information and the propaganda and programming that's around them. And we should be able to filter that, because that's where it gets scary. This is not the first time I've seen something like this.
Be
So-
like, how are they getting these influences? How are they getting these influences, especially if this is a traditional school, which means there are probably some religious overtones, which means they probably should have some kind of guidance at their house that makes them
A lot of the
makes their
time
parent
they
bend towards.
don't.
Man, this
And
joint
that's
would
what
be
I'm trying
one
to
of
say.
them
To do it.
alternative
That's what
schools.
I'm trying to say.
This be one of the schools with
They
all the
rely
bad
on the
kids.
school to teach them ethics, and that's the problem.
Vote
When I was a
babies.
child, we had video games like Asteroids. You just shoot rocks.
We used to have Pac-Man.
Now they
and
got
stuff.
Call of Duty where, unaliving is normal. Like,
Right.
it's how many can you in one day?
So who's responsible for kids being this violent thinking?
Parents.
Is it? I was going to say that, but I had to ask the panel.
You said parents?
Yeah, we went with parents on this.
100%.
I would absolutely say parents based off of the role model that Mr. Bravo, especially with his kids, they can't even have TVs in the bedroom. However, I will also say that no, I get it. I respect it. But I will also say this. The standards that we allow, like, for example, what's the Food and Drug Administration allowing a certain amount of rat poop on cans? Like, that's a thing. Like, a certain amount of metals and stuff in food, and just like, so when it gets down to this, some of this entertainment, I mean, you're just giving them too much. You can't, and as a parent, like, you can try and you can do a damn good job, and Bravo, you are proof of that. But something's going to slip through the cracks because you can't,
of course,
what they do in school, you can't stop.
Yeah. Well, just to give
I
you
feel
guys,
like there's like a negative overtone on entertainment as a whole, and there aren't enough positive influences.
That is,
they don't have Bill Cosby in them that we had when we was growing up.
Yeah, we don't have any of those people.
Anything that's looked at as positive right now is considered corny. And please don't.
Tyler Perry must be stopped at all costs.
No,
that's what I'm saying. That's what we got.
Force.
We got Tyler Perry.
Goofy.
All we got right now is Miss Rachel.
Tyler Perry just put out a movie about a black woman having a shitty day. Like, what did you
mean? You mean every single Tyler Perry movie?
Right. That's the plot of every one of those movies. Every last one. But nonetheless, I wanted to let y'all know.
This one didn't even have a happy ending. It was just like, she's going to have a shitty day. Tomorrow's going to be even worse.
Right. She's going to wake up in
so
jail.
Basically, black woman trauma. Yeah, black woman trauma, and then also pretty black men with bad hairlines. That's what the movies are all about.
Do you remember when they put Shamar Moore in those cornrows?
Oh my God, that was so horrible.
About.
That was so horrible. Why'd they do that to them?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
He almost lost his whole career over that. So, but I wanted to fill y'all in. I wanted to fill y'all in on this Legacy Traditional School. Apparently, it's a pretty good school. They got 4 stars out of 5 on great schools. Okay.
Ain't nobody sending their kids there after this.
Well, yes, maybe they are. This is a public charter school, so it's supposed to be a pretty good school. So these kids were probably overly entitled, a little bit overprivileged, and thought they could pull this kind of shit off. And that's what this was about. But I don't think it makes it a bad school.
These are children that did not get hands put on them when they was growing up. I promise you that shit.
Lessons need to be taught and learned at all times. At all times.
I've never heard a 5th grader be like, let's end it.
Right.
That's because you grew up around black people. That's why.
No.
That's why you never heard that.
We weren't really about all that.
You ain't never heard of no Latinos talking about let's end him. That's some goddamn
it's
Caucasus Mountain shit. Let's just call it what it is.
Caucasatory. It's very Caucasatory.
Let's end him. Let the 3rd crusade begin. Like, come on, man. We don't talk like that.
Let's usher his body off its mortal toil.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Exactly.
But y'all are right, though. Y'all are right. We don't say stuff like that. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But since we're going to talk about us, I got to get into the conversation that I had pushed back a little bit earlier because I knew that it was going to be a fun convo. And I just wanted to get through the 5th graders and stuff first. So let me unshare this.
Pause.
Y'all always gotta make it pausable. You always gotta do that.
You the one that made it. I gotta get through these.
Get through these 5th graders, bro.
I gotta get through these little mother. Anyway.
All right.
So we're about to have a conversation regarding.
Is that what we're about to do?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let me pour some of this Johnny Walker.
Is that the black label?
About that, make it smart.
Yeah, man. I didn't realize it was that expensive. $39 for a 5th? Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Oh, I had a baby. That's why. Well, I have a grandbaby now, so that's why I bought it.
Them jeans are strong.
For the baby?
No. I bought some scotch and a cigar to celebrate.
I heard it helps teething as well. No, I'm playing.
Oh
It
my
does.
God. It does.
Definitely puts him to sleep.
It does.
Definitely
It becomes
gets
a
him
later
drunk.
problem. Yeah, it's a later
Right.
problem. It's not a right now problem no more.
It's
That's a
nice
later problem.
Shitty.
Right.
So we're gonna get into babies being born and the birthright
Lord.
citizenship debate. Okay?
I will vote.
So
Hold on, then.
before we get into our
I
actual
fuck
discussion,
around and I find out.
Yes.
before we get into our actual discussion, I'm going to play a clip. Okay?
Bravo,
Now,
you nailed that.
I know that we got
What type of clip we playing?
well, we got it. We're going to talk
What he
about
said? I fuck around.
he just disappeared off the screen. That's crazy. He laughed himself into oblivion. So we're going to talk
he
about
was right on point.
we're going to talk about the
Wait,
Trumpster.
yeah, my bad, Hayes.
And we're going to talk about this birthright citizenship thing because we keep getting scared black people around here. So I wanted to make sure that we heard from the horse's mouth. Okay, the orange horse's mouth. Whatever
See,
the
I
hell
understand you guys are born here, but you weren't really born here because you weren't here before.
Yeah.
So you're not able to be here anymore, and that's it.
Oh,
Doesn't this shit affect him and his wife?
Not
Right.
so much his wife, but let me play the clip. I'll play the clip. All right. And
Share the
y'all-
shit. Play the
I'm
clip.
gonna share the shit. Jesus.
Where is she at anyway?
Who, his wife?
As far as away from his shitty
Yeah.
husband. Literal shitty husband.
All right.
She's trying to stay
I
away from
jumped
him.
30 seconds
Shacked
into the
up with an
clip.
attractive dude.
I'm like 30 seconds into this clip here.
With
So I
Barron's
think he
real
gave
father.
some shout
The
outs.
Supreme
Right.
Court has stopped the presidency itself. That's what they've done, and really, it's been an amazing period of time. This last hour, there are people elated all over the country. I've seen
Elated.
such happiness and spirit. Sometimes you don't see that, but this case is very important. I was elected on a historic mandate, but in recent months
blah, blah. Let me
we've seen
speed
a
it up.
handful of radical left judges effectively try to overrule the rightful powers of the president to stop the American people from getting the policies that they voted for in record numbers. It was a grave threat to democracy, frankly, and instead of merely ruling on the immediate cases before them, these judges have attempted to dictate the law for the entire nation.
And get
In
to
practice, this meant that if any one of the nearly 700 federal judges disagreed with the policy
That's
of
what-
the
that's what the
duly
Supreme
elected
Court's supposed
president
to
of the
do.
United States,
Right.
he or she could block that policy from going into effect or at least delay it for many years, tie it up in the court system.
Right.
This was a colossal abuse of power which never occurred in American history prior to recent decades, and we've been hit with more nationwide injunctions than were issued in the entire 20th century together. Think of it, more than the entire 20th
He
century.
complains the most out of
I'm
of
grateful
he's
to
like
the
the
court for
most
stepping
of
in and
everything.
solving this very, very big and
Yes.
complex problem, and they've made it very simple. I want to thank Justice Barrett, who wrote the opinion brilliantly, as well as Chief Justice Roberts, and Justices Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Thomas. Great people. Thanks for this decision, and thanks to this decision, we can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have
He always
Pam get
got
up
to throw
and
them in
say a
there.
few
Right.
words, but there's really,
Right.
she can talk as long
It
as she
has
wants because
no
it's a very
bearing
important
when he
decision.
throws
This
it in
is
there.
a decision that covers a tremendous
All right,
amount
well,
of
we
territory.
got the point
But I
on
want
that.
This is an
Thank you again,
SNL
the Supreme-
skit. I
Yeah,
cannot
we got
believe
the point
this
on
is
that.
real.
We got the point on that. So let's have the discussion. about birthright.
So what actually
citizenship?
happened?
Okay. Here's the thing. Basically, what occurred is the federal judges can't block him from amending birthright citizenship to not include foreigners who anchor babies. Basically, that's who he's going after. In this one, he was, in my opinion, he mentioned the babies of slaves. Okay. Now, here's a funny quip that someone asked me: is do you know how many black people can't trace their lineage specifically to slavery? Like, it's not that easy to do because paperwork wasn't there or whatever the situation was. And if that was to be true, would they be considered not citizens anymore if they couldn't actually trace their legacy back to slavery? So would that be a thing? Did he just do that? I mean, what exactly did happen is the question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need to find out what this applies to and how far back, how retroactive this is, because as it's being said right here, the orange man, as he says it, and how he's explained it, that affects me directly.
Exactly.
Both of my parents are not from here.
Exactly. But
so that means and they're from two different countries. So where do I get deported to?
Well, see, that's the thing. But you are a citizen because your parents.
No, not according to that.
Oh. Okay, well, maybe this is a good discussion.
See what I'm saying?
Now, like I said, now I need clarity. Because, okay, I understand the babies of slaves. I got that. That's one group. That makes sense. Okay. But there's some people that are here that are not the descendants of slaves, but are legal citizens at the same time. Do they count?
All right, so
I don't know.
This is all a part of his whole "Make America Great Again" thing. Like, he want to go back to the 14th Amendment, and because this is back to that, because the way that we even got the citizenship rights is because of the fact that it didn't extend to African American people at first. So that's what we were also fighting for, was equal rights in general. And one of the first things that they did was say, all right, well, y'all can be citizens then. Right. So he is kind of right when he says, like, it was supposed to be for black babies of slaves. But he also has issues with other people, specifically foreign people that we won't name specifically because we already know who the people who we talk about, that he does not want to
Haitians, Jamaicans.
So that's really what it's about. Yeah. He's not fighting for the slave babies. He does not give two craps about us, because if he did, we'd do some reparations. But
what's happening is the overreach. It's the same thing like what's happening with DEI. All of a sudden, when he did the whole DEI, white women got scared.
True.
Veterans got scared.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's an overreach because he's doing something, instead of making it measured and laser focused on a particular item, they're swinging around this big axe and cutting things, and then they're surprised when their fingers fall off.
Well, see, that's the thing about it. So for me, like I said, I'm black. I was born here, and half of my family, if you trace it back far enough, wasn't from slavery. It's from Native Americans that were here, right? So does that count for that group? Because where Native Americans are not citizens of the United States, even though they're here, like the ones that are on reservations right now, they're not United States citizens. So a descendant of that group would not be covered under this either. So it seems like maybe he missed a few steps. He was trying to be specific about one thing and forgot about however many other people are kind of covered under birthright citizenship. And I don't think he
doesn't care about those people.
And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Andre Bravos and the people who are in this gray area. It's like this wasn't a conversation as far as changing it until now.
He's not worried about him neither.
No, he ain't worried about me. He ain't worried about his own family, man. It's crazy.
There's specific people who he is trying to get to not come here. So he's doing stuff like this so that they can be scared.
Well, he's trying to get a lot of people out of here, because remember, this was supposed to be getting rid of all
flee
the criminals.
Area. Yep.
Remember, we're supposed to be doing this for criminals, which is like the very smallest percent of people who emigrate here. You know, was a very, very small percentage. So once you run out of that, you can't say you're done. So you got to find a new route.
He just doesn't want any more powerful criminals than the criminals that are in the office.
Well, so what happens now? Is there? is there a, okay, so now it can't happen anymore? Or, because if this man deports if he deports my best friend, I'm going to be.
Yeah, we would be very
I'm
upset
going to end
by
it
that.
right there.
We would be very upset.
I'm not going to be, I'm going to be a little more than I'm not going to like that.
Shoot, I could get deported.
You know what I mean?
My name is Genesis.
Yeah.
I would be the first one to go.
And she speaks Spanish. She be speaking Spanish.
Right.
Too. Oh,
they'd be like, she got to go.
Right. See, that's the worry. It's like I said,
already Spanish.
It was intended for the descendants of slaves because at the time when they wrote that, that's the only people they were really dealing with. They didn't make any movement to establish anything more. And then when people started just having children here, they were like, all right, well, that's covered under the same thing. If they want their kids to be citizens, I don't think it should be forced. Like if a person's here and they're a citizen of another country and they happen to have a baby here for some reason, they don't necessarily have to be citizens here. They should be able to choose that. But I don't think that we should.
That's very
I think we should just have a cutoff now.
Is that the opposite?
Yeah, I think everybody who's already here under that kind of situation that was born here, let's just take them all off the plate. Everybody who was born here.
Here's the
you
problem.
See what I'm saying?
Here's a problem with any of that demarcation, with us going and straying away from what we already have. What is going to happen is our workforce is going to be gutted because all the people who want these actions don't want to work these jobs that they're kicking people out that are doing.
They already not fixing the potholes now.
Yeah.
There's about to be holes in the ground like volcanoes.
Well, they're going to get robots.
It's going to be a problem.
They're going to get robots. It's all about the robots.
I've seen the robot waiters. That joint weird.
Yeah, but why not?
Let me ask you this. So if you've gone through the process of getting your paperwork and you've accomplished that and you've been a citizen and you had a baby, shouldn't that be fine?
That's what I'm thinking.
Then you were a citizen.
But the way that this was
first before you had the child.
Yeah, but the way that he's stating it, it would be like what Bravo said. You must have been a citizen before you had the child. Let's say you have the child's a citizen, you still going through the process. Then what he said is none of y'all citizens, basically. At that point, everybody got to go.
All I got to say is that they must be running from something serious to come here, because I don't know what the allure is for people to even come here. They must be running from something serious.
It's nice.
And he need to give some people some grace.
I will say this.
This is a great.
I will say this. It is a great country.
Yeah.
However, a lot of people like to go on vacations to like Cancun and places like that.
But the tourist place is not that.
But hear me out. Hear me out though. What I'm saying to you is, even if you're not talking about that, what I'm saying is look at the currency.
Oh yeah.
What an American dollar is worth. So if I'm making $500 a week, right? Which is not a lot, but if I'm making $500 a week, I'm staying with 30 people where, my rent is $25 and I can send 400 back home. Do you imagine what that 400 does back home?
And I think that's where he has the issue, because he be wanting everybody to keep the money
Well,
here.
they added another mandate
No, he was
a while
regular
ago.
people's money to stay here.
Yeah, they added extra tax to wiring money to Mexico. So
I've been dealing with that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
So
that's the beauty of XRP.
Plug. I see what you did there. I
will say this. I will say this. For the reason why people will come here, I believe it was like a little less than 8 years ago, where 20% or 25% of the economy of the Philippines was people sending money back from the States.
Right.
It was like a big chunk of their entire economy. There were husbands who were at home with the kids because the wives could go and then they can work in hotels, they can be maids, they can do all that kind of stuff, and the husbands were at home, receiving money. So that was a whole industry for a while. I don't know what happened after this new tax, but that was a whole chunk of their economy, a fifth of their economy. That's crazy.
Well,
I mean, it is a great country. That I was more so saying because of the way that he has been running this joint. I personally, if I was over there, would
now
be like,
ain't the
what?
time. Don't come over here now.
It doesn't seem like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, this ain't
seemed
the
very
time.
welcoming.
Yeah,
So-
not right now.
Nah.
You won't get
This ain't
nothing
it.
coming through the door right now. He didn't cut everything off as far as the federal funding. That's what all this was about. They're not funding the sanctuary cities no more.
And I
They're
think
not,
it's
none
very
of that.
sad because it's altering our history. Not that we had much legacy to stand on when it came to that anyway, but it's making it even worse. So like the kids are growing up scared. Like it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the kids are the innocents in here, but this is the world that we're creating for them to grow up in, and then they'll be adults and be like, "What happened?"
I don't think they're going to be like what happened. I think it's going to be just like it is in other countries. Like people like to throw that T word around, but what happens is when a child sees their parents unalive or something like that, or separated from their parents because of these types of actions, these children grow up to be what we would deem the T word. But that is what we're doing right now. Like with all of these concentration camps that we have over here now, with all these kids and stuff in them. Imagine what that says to a child. And when you go ask that child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Terms like avenge and revenge start to come up.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Very
now
true.
I'm not even in an orphanage, bro. I'm sleeping on the floor with 800 people in a tinfoil blanket. And
Well,
then
let's
I'm
not-
getting sent.
let's not-
And
I'm sorry.
they changed it now where they said they can send them wherever they want now.
Right.
They're not even sending them that.
They just
Bro,
wherever.
like,
You know
they
what's
were
kind of
literally-
crazy? You know what's kind of crazy about this conversation, especially when it comes to like the children and stuff right now?
Mhm.
And they talking about the kids in the cages. That's been going on since Bush, bro.
Yeah.
Like these kids in cages getting snatched at the border, that is not new. It's just when it fits the message, that's when people bring it up.
Well,
That's
I
when
would
people
like to
recognize.
say this. I spoke about this about a year ago on this panel. I said, imagine what would happen when because they at that point they were throwing around the word 2 and 3 million, and I spoke about how many members of our U.S. military we actually have, and I said, well, what would happen if these people got pissed off to the point where they started to form a militia? Now that 10 million that you're trying to, or 13 is you're trying to get out, is now your army that you have to deal with. Mind you, you got Iran and Israel going on right now. You got Ukraine going on. And now you got 10 to 13 million angry immigrants. And so we call it protesting what was going on, but most of that wasn't even protest. Most of that wasn't even rioting. They were protesting. They were happy and singing. I mean, they weren't happy, but they were singing and representing their people. But at the same time, let's say they went a little harder. And so we just saw a small piece of that. And things are changing because, yes, this was going on during Bush. This was going on during Obama. He was, he put his foot down. But what I'm saying is it wasn't televised, but they weren't marching like that. So I think the difference between Bush and Obama and this administration is Obama was at least trying to do it the right way. And he did agree, if you're illegally here, that's not right. But now it's like, with what just happened, I'm like, man, how do you even become a citizen if, like, okay, you don't have birthright citizen, you don't have nothing. How do you even go to right channels when they're turning people away?
Well, that's
how do you
question.
become a citizen of America other than being from South Africa and having a lesser complexion?
A lesser complexion. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted, we're getting ready to get out of here, but I had to take you to the last clip here. So it's because we're talking about this that I have to cover it. But they created this space in Florida they're calling Alligator Alcatraz. And this is going to be
that's
where you decided to be.
Yeah, so they're going to put the soon-to-be deported group. Yeah.
What are we, Germany now, yo?
Yep, they got. So you were mentioning these so-called concentration camps. I wanted to show you the digs that they're going to be providing for
Ron
these
always
people.
in something.
Yeah, with his white boots and shit. But anyway, let's check the clip out. Let's take a tour of Alligator Alcatraz that they opened up in 7 days Like out of nowhere, all of a sudden they had all this money. I don't know. I just heard about it on the news. I wanted y'all to see it.
But all the stuff that goes into intake and processing of illegals, you're seeing this put up. This is all 24 hours. 24 hours from now, you're going to see even more. And by Tuesday, this will be able to have intake of illegals.
And you've thought of everything. Okay, so there are 4 gigantic tents. Let's come on over here.
This is outdoors, Joe.
People are thinking,
MTV Cribs, yo.
It's that would explain why you've got this bank of
You've thought of everything.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be, illegals will come in, they'll be processed. There'll be places for them to be housed.
Oh, wow.
You'll have an ability for food.
Playing Sims?
You'll have an ability for them to consult legal rights if they have that, because there is a process that's involved with this. So this is really everything. This
If they
is
have
gonna
that,
be a
it's crazy.
self-contained little area. And then, of course, you also have stuff for.
This is what they decided to
the
do
staff
live
that
at
work here.
8:25
So we've
a.m.
got laundry facilities. We've got showers. We've got, obviously, there you see the
porta potties,
shower and bath facilities.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. Where do you go to get a bunch of bathrooms?
That's
like
cool.
that?
But what's in the fridge?
So I don't know if y'all can see in the background, but these are like the bathrooms. This is about to be a cattle herd. I don't know what else they're going to do with this
This is
space.
what we have when we get when we get deployed. It's like that. Except we have our bathrooms and showers on the back of 18-wheelers.
Wow,
just like that.
Okay, well I'll let them. Let's take the tour here and just.
So when we have a hurricane, like we would actually have people stage here for hurricane response normally, anyways.
Why?
But we have it when we have all the linemen come in to do the power. We have to set up little areas for them, and so you have all this type of stuff. So this is not our first rodeo. The detainee illegal alien mission's a little bit different, and the deportations, but logistics, we know how to do that.
It's a little different.
It's a little different, but yeah, we've done this before.
Yeah, we neglected to buy cots and mattresses.
And in fact, some guys putting down the plywood.
Yeah, no, look, this will be. I mean. There's not going to be anything that they're hurting.
What you guys got going on down here in 8 Piss, Florida?
Medical here. So it's being done right. It's being done by the book.
At 8 a.m.
When you think of the imagery of Alcatraz, Alcatraz is surrounded by a bay. Here in the Everglades, we're surrounded by. You're actually surrounded by gators and pythons.
So this is as secure as it gets. I mean, if a criminal alien were to escape from here somehow, and I don't think they will, you've got nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to do? Trudge through the swamp and
the alligators will eat them up
on the way back to 50, 60 miles just to get to civilization? Not going to happen. So not only that is it secure, it
Why
also
are they laughing
takes
about
this
this?
That's what I'm saying.
Out of the hair of our local and state
Bro,
law
they didn't put
enforcement.
them
This
with
has
a
no
moat.
impact on Florida.
Oh, it's not a moat. If you know Florida's landscape, the Everglades is where they dump all the bodies. Because nobody lives out there. There's one road that cuts through all of it. That's it. And that's like 50 miles on both sides. It's basically a swamp shelf from one of the lakes further up in the state. And then all the water ends up down there. So the whole place is just swampland. It's alligators, snakes, all types of poisonous stuff. Nobody can live there. It's not a livable area. So what I was actually kind of caught by was he said that they've used this facility before for like hurricane relief. But why would they be in the middle of the Everglades during a hurricane? That's like the worst place to be.
No, I think they don't send them right there. I think he was trying to say those types of facility, like this type of structure.
Oh, the type of structure, but not this place. Gotcha.
Right.
Because being in the middle of the Everglades is a death sentence. I'm not gonna lie. You try to get out of there, you're probably not gonna make it.
But it might be for materials. But it might be for materials where in a place like this, it's so secure that nobody can take the shit. Right.
That's true. So they kind of keep all the stuff right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because
it could be a depot.
This is pretty much what we got here. So I'm just letting them finish up. But this is they want us to feel good
I
about
love
it.
how they just so nonchalantly just explaining in a happy way what they did in Germany.
Where are they getting
real
legal
time?
advice?
DHS must love this because
This is going to be, they're going to bring lawyers in, so to speak, I guess, to meet with people in intake. It's going to be kind of like jail. When a person goes to jail, they meet with some intake people. They got medical people. They get shots and stuff. And they talk to somebody like a public defender. So I think that's the process they're going to take them through. It's a processing station, but it's outdoors.
They ain't talking to no public defenders. And, man, them mosquitoes are going to eat them people
They're
alive.
going to eat them alive. That's what I was thinking. Is I don't see any.
They don't even have walls.
Because it's 8 a.m. They not about to be out there at 8 p.m. He definitely not.
It's hot as shit in Florida at 8 a.m., bro.
Yes. It's going to be hot. It's going to be stank. It's going to be a little messy, but they want us to feel like it's going to be very humane and it's going to be nice. And they got these air conditioners on the outside of these tents, and everybody's going to be in a nice, they're going to get to talk to legal if they have that right. That's what he said. If they have rights, they get to talk to legal.
My question is, why are those tents rolled up? Why are they not rolled down so that those aren't air conditioners, those are generators.
Yeah, those are generators.
Well, he said they were air conditioners. That's what he said.
I know what he said, but those are generators, bro.
Well, maybe they're
generators for the air conditioners. At the top.
I don't know, but I know it's hot as shit in Florida. That's what I do know. So you can't have the people out there in the middle of the Everglades with no air conditioning.
Just outside.
But even then, I mean, does that make it that much more humane? I didn't see no cots.
You think they care?
Yeah, I don't think they do.
You think they care?
They're going to have 1,000 people on cots.
From here? The swamp?
Wherever. Well, if they run, they're going to end up in a swamp that's got 50 miles of swampland on all sides of this place. And that's, I know exactly how the Everglades look, and that's, you don't want to run off of this place. I don't even know how they got there. You notice the vehicles in the back, they got nothing but 4x4s. Because you can't even drive in a lot of places out there. It's a very messy area.
They're going to try to steal the cars. 5,000 people?
Yeah. They're going to house 5,000 people in some tents.
My question is, how much security is going to be
right. There? They about to conspire like crap.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, special shouts to Al in the chat. I saw your chats over here, man. I'm sorry. We getting into this.
Alligator.
Yeah, because there's a swath of people who are all for this. And they don't need it to be humane. They just want people gone. They don't want anybody to be nice about it. So they look at this like they shouldn't even get that, Whereas to me, I don't see any sleeping areas. I don't know how people are going to be fed. It looks like a cattle herd to me, and I just don't like it. It looks like they could put some gas in these things, and everybody's gone, and we ain't got to ship anybody anywhere.
Yeah, they did that in Germany.
Yeah. And they're in the Everglades, so they can literally
just
throw
people out.
It's not good, man.
Yeah, it's not good.
This is horrible. This is disgusting. This is inhumane. It's cruel.
The problem is this, man. This is not something that nobody's really addressing because nobody. It seems a little too touchy-feely for this, but this whole administration is just hurting people. They all have chips on their shoulders because they're mad about something. Stephen Miller's been bald since he's been born. You know what I mean? Obama made fun of Trump. You know what I mean? Everybody was here as a chip on their shoulder, and they just hurt and they want to hurt somebody else. And that's what they're doing.
Did you see Donald Trump's parade, bro? I'd be doing this shit if I was him too, bro. That shit was about as exciting as hanging out in the back of a morgue.
Right.
In the back of the morgue, not the front. That's where the party
they didn't even have roller coasters or nothing. It was just people watching military walk through. Where do they do that at other than Russia now? Nobody gives a shit about watching soldiers march.
They weren't even good at that.
Well, what I want y'all to
that was on purpose.
And what I want y'all to be what I want y'all to be very mindful of and paying attention to is this facility opened up right when Donald Trump was saying birthright citizenship as we know it is about to be changed. So they needed a place for these people to go, and they already were setting it up. This was already thought about. They didn't just pop this place up in a day. It was already being constructed. So they had already looked at the land.
How are they going to cover up?
Fixed, bro.
How are they going to cover up all of these casualties? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, that's all.
And when they send these people to these facilities, when they send these people to these, hear me out. When they send these people to these facilities, do they take their cell phones and stuff?
Of course. They're gonna treat them like inmates.
They're prisoners.
Yeah, they're gonna treat them like inmates. They're gonna strip them down, shower them. That's why they got the showers and all that. It's not a Holiday Inn. They're gonna treat them like inmates. They probably spray them down with something, strip search them, make sure they don't have any contraband or weapons. The whole thing. That's what it is. It's a cattle herd. I can't look any way different at this. I see what it is. People are okay with it. And Ron DeSantis, they're championing him for this right now in the Trump states. They love what this guy is doing with this. Yeah, let him get ate by gators. Like, that's how people are responding to it. And I don't like that. Like, let's keep our humanism. But let's keep our humanism with us.
To answer your question, how are they going to cover up the casualties? They're going to call them escape attempts. That's what they're going to do.
And that's what it is. But see, at the same time, there's another argument about maybe we're in this case investing too much in it because we're trying to get people out of the country and we got to put up all this money to do so. So maybe we don't need to do all of this.
So how much do you invest in that?
Yeah, how much is it worth to get rid of these folks? Is kind of what the
real question is who owns that motherfucking facility?
Well, Sunbelt got paid because they put all them generators and ACs out there, so they definitely got a bunch of money. Sunbelt does rentals.
And why are they subject to this and they have no rights?
Because they're not legal. He said illegal migrant criminals or illegal criminal. Called them criminal migrants. That's what he said. That's what DeSantis used as the term. He said, criminal migrants. Criminal migrants is what he said. But the term criminal migrants has been fluid.
Why doesn't he just call them Latinos?
Because he has to be able to go get people that don't look like Latinos. He's got to keep it open.
It's the fear mongering, bro.
Yeah,
criminals. They got to keep saying criminals. They got to keep saying illegal. They got to keep saying illegal criminal in some kind of fucked up sandwich. They always got to put it that way.
Criminal migrant.
Bro, there is a nice hot place in hell
for what's about to happen. This is a bad idea. What if somebody gets?
I mean, just bro, what happened to fucking decency, bro? Like, I'm the type of person, man, if somebody sends me like one of those, what's that guy's name that was a skateboarder that had that show on MTV?
Oh, Rob Dyrdek?
Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah. If somebody sends me one of them videos with people getting hurt, like, I feel that pain of that person while people next to me are laughing.
Right. It'd be real bad. Like, they broke their leg. Like,
yeah, and so I'm like, where did America go where hurting people was funny or cool? I just don't because I equate that to if my children, one time Devin banged her head, I wanted to cry. Like, I hurt my head. And so when I see this, I don't know any of these people personally, but I do know this. When I went to an annual training at I think it was Fort Gordon. It was between 92 and 108 with the humidity and all of that, all day and all night for 2 weeks. It was like when you were finished doing that, you felt like you accomplished something. Who knows how long they're going to be here? Because my bet is it's not a quick stay because they're going to try, whoever owns these facilities is going to try to get as much money out of them being there as they possibly can. And then when they finally get released from this place, whether they shove them on a boat or some plane or something, then they're going to a country they don't even know. Like, how long has Satan been running the show?
For a minute.
Like, this is the most inhumane shit I've ever seen. Like, I am embarrassed that my country is doing this to people.
Well, they haven't done it yet. Bro. They've just staged the area.
No, they're already doing it. It's just this is a new one. Something that's a new spot.
A new spot. They already have spots doing it, but this is the newest spot. Because I would venture to say that this is how they handle it.
There are people with children. There are people with children that don't even have the wherewithal to look down at their children and imagine how painful it would be if somebody took their child from them. And they're watching shit like this and like, yeah, let them have it. They came over here to get a better life, bro. They didn't come over here to rob you. Like, this is...
Yeah, it's inhumane and they're shooting way too hard and not doing what they're supposed to. Did y'all hear about the Purple Heart veteran who had to self-deport after being here for 48 years?
No, I didn't hear about that one. That's crazy.
South Korea.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
He had to self-deport because he was told he was going to be removed forcefully if he didn't self-deport. He has been here for 48 years, earned a Purple Heart and an Army veteran, and they still booted his ass out.
Wow.
Isn't that the person you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Crazy.
That's why I'm saying the gray area is going to get things messed up. But at the end of the day, we have to keep our human side with us. Like, I get it. They got to enforce the law, whatever the law is. A lot of these people who are working these jobs, they're just working jobs just like everybody else. They want to get home to their family. They want to earn their paycheck. But at the end of the day, let's keep in mind, some of these people are not, fleeing felons. They're fucking construction workers and dishwashers. And
right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep our humanism with us. I worry about
they don't have that. They don't have humanity at the highest levels of power. It's like torture is funny to them, and that's always just been in the history of the world. And we just brought that right on over with the way that we took over this country.
Road Glide in the chat said, illegal is illegal. FK them and their kids. I'm FKN struggling for medical, but they get it free.
It's always a comparison about what we get and what they get, and how it's not fair because we're here. But we live in the most comfortable country ever, man. We're so spoiled. So it's no reason.
Hold on. But you know what, Road Glide? Donald Trump, he doesn't struggle to pay his rent. You do. You know what I'm saying? He gets his health care free. You don't. So is it FK him too?
I'm just saying,
love him.
It's a good point to say, but until you have proof of that doesn't make no sense. That doesn't make no sense.
How are we going to blame other people for our own personal demise?
No, but I'm saying based on this man's logic or this woman's logic or this he or she's logic, what I'm saying is at the end of the day, you hate them because they get free health care. So does your president.
He said absolutely, or he, them said absolutely.
Oh,
so that
but what is free health care? The fact that you go there, you sign some papers, and you never show up again?
Hold up. You got to pay rent. They get it free. So does your president.
From who?
Are you mad at him?
Seriously, like from whom? Who's paying the rent for free? Like who's doing that?
I didn't know that there was.
I don't know.
I'd love to find out.
No,
well, I can tell you, it's them white folks from South Africa who are getting land and free healthcare and rent. They getting that.
Well, no, there's the
but these people of color getting kicked the fuck out.
They put people on welfare.
No, he's not funding them anymore.
No, not Donald Trump. I'm talking about before yesterday when he made that announcement. There was when you come here, you get a little something to get by because you don't have anything to use. You don't have money. You don't have a job yet. So they were hooking people up, with food stamps and places to stay. Some people did get to stay in hotels. So some of that is true to a degree.
This guy said, I pay his salary proudly. Why are you paying his salary proudly if you can't pay your own rent, sir?
I think this goes right back.
His name is Road Glide. You sound like some Road Glide.
That's a type of motorcycle.
Yeah, it's a nice motorcycle, by the way.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Harley Davidson.
It's nice, exactly. But what I'm trying to say is that goes back to my first point. This administration is hurting people.
Yeah,
you see, like coming in with a chip on your shoulder, it does not help you receive all the facts.
I'm gonna clean out the swamp. Chill out, bro.
But he's also got a lot of
everybody
people
in the goddamn MAGA party hates Marjorie Taylor this week. But before then, when she was doing all that other crap, they was loving her, y'all. Now they act like they never even knew her. We knew her. She looked like looked like Earth's first man. We knew her. Y'all loved her. When she was dragging her knuckles and pronouncing words, ooh, ooh, y'all loved her. But now she's speaking some common sense. Yeah, I'll probably pay his salary. Pay your own salary, Road Glide.
I mean, that's what we do with our taxes. That's what happens. But what I am saying is that when we get entrenched on our own sides, we stop listening, and that's the thing that I'm trying to get past. And that's what I'm saying, hurting people. Because yeah, this stuff, some of these decisions can still hurt me, but I still want to have a discussion. So I could show you my side of that, and you can tell me what your actual fears are, what you're actually scared of, and not the media talking points that you've been told to repeat.
They're actually scared of the fact that African men have big ass penises. That's what it is, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, he definitely took that angle.
And their women want them. I'm serious. If you look all the way back through history,
all black people though.
They're not gonna say it.
Wait.
They're not doing that.
We next, man. We next.
We're not next. We're not next. And we can't.
I'm just joking.
Yeah,
and Road Glide, you are free to your opinion, y'all.
Yeah.
I just figured if I engaged you, then we would get more comments, and you fed right into it. So
and we did.
Sir.
Thank you, Road Glide. Special shouts to you for jumping into the chat there. Yes. That gong is for you. All right.
Yeah.
So
you did your job, Road Glide.
but this is the thing. I wanted to end the show with at least, other than this conversation that we just had with Bravo, in a grand sense, he's not coming for black people as a general race right now.
Yeah.
It is.
Not yet.
It is
because he's starting with the Africans
gave us a shout out with
first.
the slaves. He's like, hey, I did something for y'all.
Yeah,
the babies are slaves.
Babies are slaves.
Starting with the Africans first.
I would say roughly.
Then the light skinned niggas is next.
Yeah, 50% of people cannot trace their history back far enough to be able to say, yes, I come from this particular plantation.
Honestly, we are so talented. We make them far too much money for us to be the ones.
What
that
I'm
they're worried
saying.
about.
Absolutely, and it's not the talent, and it's not even black men. It's black women.
And it's not.
Women.
Well, it's not just black women either. We got
shit.
athletes.
No, hear me. Hear me out. Hear me out. Bro, I'm quite sure they could do athleticism without us, and I'll tell you why.
No, they cannot.
No.
How not?
They don't got Shikari.
Even when there was segregation, they knew we were more athletic. Like they knew that.
It doesn't matter. My point is, look at music. What did they do? They took hip hop and added it to country music. Now country music has 808s and shit. It's following the same path.
Beyonce.
What it is cash rules. And I do believe this. These other countries, the only reason why they haven't blown this motherfucker up is because black women are consumers. They buy expensive purses. They buy weed. They buy a whole lot of shit that most people don't. Yeah. Weave, not weed.
Oh,
weed.
But they buy weed too.
That's why I emphasized it. But they do that as well.
Yeah, think about it like this. I watched this woman
and we
speaking.
the trendsetters.
There was a woman speaking on a news show today, and she was talking about this. The reason why let's just say the black middle class is not part of the millionaire class because they don't understand that $1,200 is too damn much for a car. If you were to take $700 and put that away for 30 years, you'd have like 1.4 million. But we, and black women especially, because they really are the power consumers of America, they want that Mercedes. They will spend that much money.
Yeah.
Right.
It would be like blowing up all of your fiends on the block if you was a dope dealer. Now, if they did segregate, if let's say Donald Trump did follow through and was able to get out all of the people of color that he wants to get out of here, I guarantee you missiles will cruise because y'all ain't buying shit. Yeah. What do you provide? You ain't buying shit.
What I'm thinking is this.
That's what I believe.
The build on top of what you were saying. I think that this is systematically they're going after illegals and they're going after criminal and they're going after illegals. Then they're going to go after probably South American, anybody from South America or Latin America, because I think they're doing that in order to force us into the jobs that those positions used to have. Right. So that's what I think is happening. And then when we don't do that, then they're going to come for us. That's how I think it's going to play out. That's how I think it's
statement from Bravo, but I gotta say, hey, in the path that this thing is traveling, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up there. You know,
that's how you make America great again.
I mean, it depends on who you want to make it great for, I guess. Because that's what I'm saying.
It ain't for us.
No, it's not supposed to be. But that's what I'm saying. If there is to be a change, there's going to be a lot of movement. And I just want us to keep our humanism about us. I don't want to be seeing any more of these videos of a bunch of kids injured because of, our border control people or, our Homeland Security folks or whoever they have running these sites. It might be a contractor they have running these sites. They might not even be official government employees that they have running these sites. So I just want everybody to be careful with this because it could go bad. And as you can see from some of the protests, if you piss off enough people, they'll come outside. And if they come outside with violence in mind,
imagine how the police feel right now. Imagine how the police feel right now. They're like, whoo, somebody making us look all right. For real. Like, there is nothing lower than an ICE agent, period.
At this point, that's how they feel. Yeah.
And my thing is, why are ICE agents getting $40,000 and $43,000 bonuses when the soldiers have to come save them? Pussies.
Uh-oh.
You're pussies, bro. Ooh. You're all pussies. We got to come save y'all. Why are you getting bonuses? We get $150 raise every month to come save y'all bombs. And you sellouts, every day, last one of you. All of you.
It's the same thing as a CEO executive package. Well, I think even when their company is going down, they still get paid millions of dollars as a bonus. Like, that makes no sense to me either.
Like I said, this is a process, and we talked about mass
calling
deportation.
the National Guard and the reserves to come save ICE. Pussies.
We talked about the messiness of deportation over the course of the last 6 months, and it got messy about 2 weeks ago when they did the whole, I think it was a Home Depot or something they raided. Maybe it was a warehouse. It was something where they went and that's what started the riots in LA. And if that's going to be the culture, is every week or two, they're, breaking into a warehouse and emptying out all of the employees. Eventually, I could see it turning into almost a civil unrest. I see it coming. Because you got to be more strategic. It's messy. That's all I'm saying.
They're not doing it in the Midwest. Not doing it in the Midwest where the meatpacking plants are. You notice that? They're not doing that. They're not doing that. And you see, they're not hitting their own purses. They're not hitting their own pocketbook.
Very true.
And then President.
Yeah, but they did hit Cali hard though, bro.
Yeah.
Because Cali's blue.
Cali is just outrageous.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean just because they're blue, that doesn't mean that they're not producers of all type of fruits and vegetables. Bro.
No,
they run the whole West Coast.
Cali on its own is like the 13th biggest economy in the world or some shit like that. It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's like it's its own country. Yeah. Right. So but the thing is, because it has so much power, it is an opponent of the current administration. So that's why they're gonna hit anything they can in Cali. But what
the thing is this: when did everybody start giving a fuck about this? Like,
they always have.
I don't think they really did, bro. Like, it wasn't until he started talking about building a wall. Like,
the election.
I said enough is enough.
No, the election proved it, because just like how
we got tired of people working for him.
Listen, I got just because I got my feelings after the election, it was mainly because, as we discussed, I didn't know there was this much hatred, racial bound in that still existed. I did not know that.
I mean, I can understand why. I can understand why a people who's like, I think it's, I don't remember the exact percentage, but it was like, it's more than less of this particular race. What is it? What's the rate of death over the rate of births?
Oh, the replacement rate.
It was like 1%.
The replacement. Well, there's more. Let's just say there's more death. I won't say on a lot, but yeah, there's more deaths than births. And so,
replacement rate.
Armed with that knowledge, you would probably want to get rid of the fertile people, because you ain't gonna be here that long. And it's just what it is. I understand why they're angry if and this is fact, because your sperm just it ain't good enough. And we've seen it in the Olympics, the athletes that y'all produce, it's not good enough. We've seen it in the NBA and the NFL.
The sperm in the Olympics.
I'm talking about what comes from it. Like, when they say it's 1 billion sperm and you were born. And this is the same thing if you go back to,
crazy.
You're just not producing great people anymore. It's just, or enough people. And I understand why there's anger because,
the real
you know, like black
this.
folks and Latinos, man, we're not like Debbie and Jim. Like, we're trying to have babies. We don't have that problem. Like, we get drunk on a Friday night and have twins in 9 months, yo. So I understand that hatred. I get it. You just, when you're weak, it sucks. And I get it. But, you know, you can at least, you know, just send them out nicely. You don't have to put them in the heat like this. Because, I mean, honestly, you ain't got that much time left. So you can do this now, but imagine if they get upset.
Right.
And how many security guards do you have in this facility?
Right.
Because they're going to get overrun.
Right,
And then
the ratio.
people like us, the reserves, you know, the active duty. Now we got to come save your punk ice asses because you're not soldiers. You're just nasty humans. Like bottom of the barrel crud.
If we're being so for real right now, I think that this is just another way for him to get rid of the people that he doesn't like. Because if he could just deport the Transformers, I'm sure he would. But this is a legal way for him to deport people that he does not like.
Yeah, why did he mention transgender surgeries? Yeah, he was like, and transgender surgeries.
That's what I'm saying.
What does
this
that
is
have to do
all
with birthright
grouped in his
citizenship?
own hatred, and he's trying to mask it for patriotism, and that's just not what it is.
Well, I agree with you guys in that
hurting
regard.
people. That's what it
And
is.
it really sucks to me because, like, for example, like one of my neighbors put out 2 American flags yesterday, and like, why did I take that as like, oh my God, like, are they okay? Are they racist? But like, that sucks that I even have to think that way because they could just be putting them out there because they may be in the military or something. I don't know. People put American flags out for a different reason, but it's a huge flag, and like it covers the whole window. And I'm
it's
like,
weak sperm and weak eggs, bro.
Well,
this is what it is. And that's a lot to deal with.
I just want to give a couple of, I'm sorry.
You just can't produce. You can't. You ain't got it in you, Rocco. You're a, no, my bad.
So I wanted to
just voted for that.
Yeah, the folks in the chat are going crazy a little bit there.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
Let them
going
go
a little
crazy.
Special shouts to everybody stopping in the chat. It says Caillou or whatever, and Bren
Caillou Blow. You
Caillou
do.
Blow, and
we're not gonna fight the chat.
No,
fellas.
that's the name. That's the name.
No,
I'm saying the name.
His name is Caillou Blow.
Yeah, Caillou Blow.
And I just agree with his name.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Kai blows, apparently.
But you got a better chance of doing that because maybe you could ingest some strength because you ain't putting out none.
Protein
And
shake.
for the person that said mad blacks, then what are you?
I don't know. That's
everybody
Bren.
mad. Apparently,
That's
y'all
Bren.
mad in here.
Look,
so like,
that's just.
That's
do
what
not
I
feed the trolls.
Yeah, that's
Don't
why
feed the
that's why I
trolls.
normally do a subs only chat.
Nah, I keep challenging them because they keep commenting. We need that interaction because if they're not hitting the like
he
button,
said
just
that he
arrest them.
wasn't reading their comments, so
Yeah,
I
so-
decided to read one.
I'm reading their comments.
Yeah.
And Caillou Blow, sir.
Okay. It's okay.
You're doing a much better job at that.
Continue.
Have some children and get back to me, bro.
Yeah. The Mad Blacks. That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah, Mad Blacks.
Apparently, you've
It is
never
what it
seen
is.
Mad
I mean,
Blacks.
look.
Then you've never seen Mad Blacks. Maybe they meant Mad Blacks in terms of like numbers. There's a lot of blacks. Mad
No,
Blacks.
because you wouldn't
A lot
talk
of
that
them?
reckless on the internet if you seen a couple of Mad Blacks.
I just think this is where our discourse has degenerated to. To be honest with you, like
right.
I haven't tried to bring anything that I could not at least somewhat prove, and I don't say things just to hurt somebody else. I will make a joke,
Right.
but nothing so venomous. Nothing venomous that I need to abandon you and abandon your ears, because once you start hating, you stop listening.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Well, you're Mad Blacks, okay? And apparently we didn't
I
care.
am a Mad Black.
You know what's
I'm Mad
funny?
Blacks.
What's funny is
Wasn't that a rap group or something? Mad Blacks.
was Mad.
Like back in the day, it was Mad something.
It's all good. Don't feel.
Pardon there, drunk.
But no, it's no big deal at all. But I wanted to touch on one particular comment that Bren did make about people didn't care when Obama deported 4 million illegals. But if I remember correctly, a lot of people were on.
Yeah.
Weren't they on Obama about, I think it was Guantanamo or one of them places.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I think people did care. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Brent. People did care. Maybe we weren't talking about it on this channel because we weren't even on here back when Obama was doing his thing. But I believe that people did have an opinion about it. So this is no different. It's just that they're pitching it a little bit different because they have a Republican majority in the House and they got a lot going on, so they can make a lot of moves. So that's why they're doing it this way. But I can't say that nobody ever cared. I can't say that. That's disingenuous, to be honest. But I appreciate your comment, though. Thank you for stopping in, though. Thank you for stopping in. Make sure you hit the damn like button, though. You want to come in chatting it up, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Button.
Hit that like button. And make sure you come back.
They took it away.
Yeah. And, a lot of the folks are bots these days. They got bots now that come in to do comments. And they
because like he sounds like a racist YT guy, right? But why would he be a racist YT guy with a name like that sounds like he's in an anime film? Like it just
he might like anime.
Up.
He might like anime. He might be a gamer. I don't know, but I'm just saying.
He's probably mad at the name he chose because of the way it's playing out on here with Kai You Blow right now. Like,
it's everybody's saying it. Everybody's saying it. So.
Look, the thing is the whole intention was laid out in his third to last comment.
Yeah, you're triggered.
That's really what it was. So I don't feed the trolls.
I don't know.
I enjoy engaging in them because, bro, look, let me see what's the numbers now. Let's see. Yeah, Kai blows or Kai you blow. You got us up to 30. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you for blowing, Kai.
And that
awesome blowing.
Yeah, thank you, Kai, for blowing.
Yeah, we appreciate the way that you blew.
Wow.
We was at like 12, now we at 30. Kai, you blow very well, and I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. It's all good.
Okay.
All good.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Appreciate Kai blowing. So
fuck that, Nick. Now just
oh my god. See, y'all feeding right into it.
I'm good, man. I'm saying, bro, like we need you need that interaction sometimes because it get the numbers up,
yeah, man.
I play with them.
At least hit the fucking like button.
I know a racist button when I see one. Yeah, hit the like button.
But
you blow.
Anyway.
You blow. Pick a new name, yo.
So, nonetheless.
They really called this place Ocho P.
Yeah, that's why I say 8 Piss Florida.
Like, this is crazy.
8 Piss Florida. Nice.
8 Piss Florida. That's funny.
You're like Alligator Alcatraz. Let's go.
Hey, you got to get behind something. You got to get behind something.
Yeah.
Days, right?
Oh, they getting behind something. Trust me. His name is Kai You Blow. Somebody getting behind him.
Behind.
Trust me.
Yeah. That's
right behind.
Oh, Lordy.
Sucks for him. Or her. I don't know. I don't know if Kai You Blow is a male or female. I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't. So I would hope that Kai Blowing would be a female, though. Hopefully.
Well, I mean,
but the aggression seems. It
seems somewhat masculine.
Yeah,
it's giving burning crosses.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool.
It's giving them, but I don't know.
But nonetheless,
Hey, I gotta go, yo.
Yeah, I gotta get ready to get out of here too. Let me bring this over. Let me get my shouts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know how it is. Motherfuckers.
Yeah, they gotta go to church.
So we gotta go to church.
Yeah.
Gotta go to church on them. Well, look. Nonetheless, we had some really good discussions today, and I appreciate it. The folks in the chat, some good, some bad, but you all get a shout out for coming in. Bryn stopping in, thank you for coming by. Kai, you blew very well. Thank you for stopping by.
Very well.
Everybody else in there, let's see.
Yeah, he became by.
Yeah, we got Road Glide that stopped in for some trollage for a little bit.
Yeah,
I Love Big Women stopped in for some trollage earlier. And of course, we have our actual active subscribers, like Purple Groovy, Albon, IMZ, a couple other folks stopped in here. So I appreciate the ones that come through to have the conversation. And not a problem over here with you coming back when we're doing another show. Kai, you blow. That's
Shout out to
that's
y'all.
an invite to you to come on back through. And if ever you feel so
Get a real
inclined, we can
zeros.
bring you up. This is we can bring you up if you want to come up and have an
Open
actual
format.
debate. Yeah, we can do that. We can do
Yeah.
that. I mean, you gotta be willing to have an actual conversation. Like, you know, it's you gotta come a little different. I'm just saying. There's a reason why we have a show and you're watching. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, Kai Blue came by. Came by.
Yeah. So we're gonna respect the platform and we're gonna get up out of here because I do have some shit to do. But I'll be back on Tuesday to see what then came down the pipe at that point. We'll see if they get a Diddy verdict coming down. Maybe we can discuss that at some point. We'll see. But do you guys have any final words for the folks before we, close out this purge here?
Don't forget your humanity. Love y'all.
Don't forget your humanity. That's a good one.
That's it.
That's all I got to say.
I'm trying to drive home the whole night.
Yeah. Because if you forget your humanity, then that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out of here.